here with Jacqui Baker, and she is the founder of Select Connections and the South Coast Dinner Society. Morning, Jacqui. How are you doing?
Morning, Jill. I'm very good. How are you today?
Okay. A bit miserable outside, but
It's horrible.
yeah.
Horrible day.
Well, you're a matchmaker. I've never met a matchmaker before. So tell me a little bit how you ended up being a matchmaker.
Well, it all started, I'm originally from an event background, so I spent many years in high-end events, in arenas, at big outdoor festivals and meetups and events. And then I moved into training, and then I moved into stakeholder engagement within the university. And I missed the event side of things. And then 3 years ago, I became single, and I saw a space or niche that wasn't being filled besides online dating. And there was nothing really other than the meetup groups that were pure walking or coffee meets and Toby Calvary's. And there wasn't anything that met the end of the market that I wanted to go out and socialize without friends or family, friends that are already in relationships, and family that are just family and just support you. And so I started off South Coast Dinner Society, and just before the pandemic we had started to run some events, and I had, through quite a lot of practice, matched people anyway successfully, some, most, but some through the events that are still dating as such. And then I moved on to Zoom, the Zoom platform, during the pandemic, and I have continually run events, mostly free, except for a murder mystery event that I had to pay for, live actors, and I still am matching people through that. So I had this brainwave during the pandemic that I would look into matchmaking. So I have spent many months now completing an accredited matchmaker course, and I am now ready.
Was born out of the pandemic, really. You sort of
Yes.
went from, because not many people during the pandemic, a lot of people were really bored. It sounds like you were really busy setting up these things for other people.
Yeah, I saw that there's so many lonely people as such, and I got so many messages from people that were worryingly lonely, and relied on my Wednesday night, as it was back in the first lockdown, and Friday night Zoom chats and sips, as we called. And when I tried to take a Friday night off, they would message me and say, are we having the Zoom tonight? Because I'm really relying on them. So I kept them going.
Free, those ones?
Pardon?
They were free, were they?
Yes, everything was free except for the murder mystery when I had to actually pay someone else.
Yeah.
And also I run a book club, I run a support group for men, and lots of things that were needed during the pandemic for my age group, and for people being single. A lot of people, I'm lucky enough to still have family at home with me, but a lot of people are totally on their own, and they couldn't go out and meet anyone, and even when they went for a walk, no one looks at you anymore. So that organic dating has gone, and that's mainly why I sat down and thought, what can I do as a separate entity from the events, for those who want to move. A lot of people that come out of long-term marriages or have been bereaved are very careful about how they want to approach dating, and it's not in a obnoxious way. They don't want to go online. They don't want to be seen to be looking for another lady or gent. They want to just do it as organically as we can through a conversation at an event, or
we used to meet, didn't we, when we were younger? When you were younger, you'd go out and you'd meet your friends, you'd meet in the pub, you'd meet at different places.
Yeah. You just bump into people when you're out. Yeah. But in today's society, it's not the done thing, and especially, as I just mentioned, since the pandemic came along, people don't even look they don't make eye contact with you anymore because they think you might spread the virus to them. So whatever we had back when we were out on the town and dating is gone now, and kids, they spend their time looking at their phones, and they don't interact with people. And now we find that we are out in that society through what, divorce, bereavement, or whatever means we've just become single.
And these
again.
dating apps are really quite scary, aren't they? I've tried dating apps, and it's sort of this whole thing of swooping left and swooping, you're like,
it's a lottery.
Yeah, and
and it does work. It does work for some people, but and obviously there's not many of us that haven't tried it, because it's the only thing we really have. But it is a game, and also we find that we are compromising our values on there, and we end up going on there, and we end up setting the criteria exactly for what we want, but also looking for that criteria, the exact for what we want. So we're not allowing any wriggle room or leeway, or let's talk to this person and see if we're attracted to them. We're visually looking for that attraction, and we're looking for that height, we're looking for that job, we're looking for that look that we want. Not talking to someone for some time and thinking, actually, I'm really interested in you. You're an interesting person first and foremost, and you're attractive through your values and not through and also it's a game of that they line, and you find once again on the front of that you find that you're being put in a queue of people, so you will be liked, and then you'll think, oh, I quite like that, and then you get all interested and start talking to you, but then another like materializes and you've been blocked, so, and then you start to do that as well. So
that's to hurt, doesn't it? It knocks the confidence, doesn't it? That's to hurt a little bit.
It does, and most people now have tried it. There's not very many I've talked to that haven't tried it, and just it's not for them. So this is a nicer approach. So we have the events if you want the events, and with no pressure. And if you want to step over into the matchmaking arena, then you can do it without thinking that you're being judged, because I think that seems.
How does it work then? If I was to come to you and say, I'm single, I'm looking for a guy, 50 odd, what happens? How do I?
Well, I have a core database of singles over 45, and what I do is I take time. At the moment, I take time. I have another matchmaker and life coaches with me on this journey, but initially, as we step into this, I will be doing all the matchmaking myself to the point. And within that, I will meet everyone and have a discussion with them and ask them the questions that I need to ask to find out their values, and their big no-nos and their preferences, and I'll challenge those as well, because that's what I'm here for. And the next step would be, if you came to me, I would have those conversations with you, and I'd also ask you to fill out a heartfelt form, not a form that is criteria based, but about you, and it makes you think about your fondest memories of growing up and things that define you more than that. And then you would come onto my books, and then if I knew I had someone who matched your values, maybe not 100%, because everyone needs to bring something new to the challenge and moving forward, and something interesting. It's nice to have that set of core values that do match, but also it's exciting to have some new things in your life.
You find, because there are people that are just serial daters, aren't there? There are people that are looking, I don't know, I know a guy, and he's been single for years, and he's just looking for this. I don't think she actually exists.
But you also find that people that have been single and date, and then they get into maybe something a little more serious, that they actually would think, I'm not free anymore. I'm not free to do. Once you could easily fall into that niche of being so used to doing your own thing and becoming, especially when you become a bit older, you get so set in your ways. And I speak on behalf of myself because I've been single for nearly 3 years now, and I'm quite content. And you know, I'd be one of the ones who would like to. I wouldn't be a client for myself now, because I will only take people who are serious about finding that person. That, and also I charge a fee that to find that person. So you need to be serious to pay that fee. And if you're not, then you just stay on the dating apps.
Meeting them, you know, you're going to meet them. You can find that out. You know, I suppose that's what is so great about you, is that you're going to meet them first, and you're going to sit and chat, and you're going to get to know them a little bit, aren't you?
Well, on that there, yes, I will meet them, and I will, and they don't, you know, they realize that I'm just having a conversation, but the questions that I'm asking during that conversation define whether I will work with them or not, because I won't work with someone who's not serious about what they're about to embark on. And so they, I mean, when I tell them about my service and what it represents, if they don't like it after the consultation, then they have that's all well and perfectly good. But also, if I don't, and I feel that I can't work with them, that they're, you know, they're not serious about it, or I can't match this person because their requirements are just way beyond any realistic approach, then, you know, so it's not just I'll take anyone, or so it's about being serious about settling down, about knowing that you're at that stage. Maybe you've come out of a divorce or a long-term relationship, and I always say to anyone that's just come out of it, you need to take time. Quite a lot of people want to rush straight in. They're desperate to find, because maybe they've been married for 30 years and they think, I need to find somebody quick before I get too old. But that's not the case. What I say to them, you need to take a year to yourself, to be yourself, to find yourself, and to practice being on your own, or even just dating for the sake of dating. And then when you've got that out of your system and you're ready, then come to me, and then we will take up. But if you're not serious about settling down, then I am not the person for you at this stage.
You also run South Coast Dinner Society, don't you? So do the two things work together?
Yes, and even more so within the next few weeks, South Coast Dinner Society will become Select Events. So it will be the sister company to Select Connections. And within that, I'm already in the planning of singles events for 45 plus. And how this works is that, for example, I'm working with the proms in the park, as we were talking about earlier. I've got secured tickets for that for next August. There will be specific packages built for that, and it will be an even number of male to female ratio tickets sold to that event. And every event that I run, that will be the case. There won't be any top heavy male or female attendance at that. Also, I have secured Brasserie Blanc restaurants as my preferred restaurants in the south, and harbour hotels for my events. So, and many different events. For example, I have spoke to the company that run the events at Winchester Cathedral for a historian to take us around the cathedral one evening, and then to have a candlelit dinner afterwards. So everything is going to be different.
So you could meet someone, but because it's really scary, isn't it, going on a blind date? You don't know them, you're terrifying, you know. But to actually go to an event where you're with other people,
yeah,
the pressure isn't
it's
so
as
much.
close to organic as you're going to get, really.
Yeah, you're going to be out with other people doing something else, and I
Yes.
suppose it's far more relaxed.
And also when the COVID crisis is over. What I had in the planning before were cookery schools where even numbers of male to female ratio will cook in teams. So they'll cook a starter, a main course, and a dessert, and they'll move around. So 2 will cook the starter, 2 will move around, 2 will cook the main course, and so with the dessert. And then afterwards they'll all sit around. It'll be about 5 each, male and female, and have wine with the lunch that they've just prepared. So you won't know any of these people because it won't be, oh, I want to book and come with my friend. It'll be a pure singles event. Come along, meet new people, and interact with people of your age, of the opposite sex, whether that leads to a date or just good company or swap numbers or whatever. But that's, it'll be, first and foremost, it will be an enjoyable experience, a different style of
experience. If you are feeling lonely, and if you are, maybe you've lost a partner and you've spent quite a lot of time by yourself, to go along to one of those events, to go out and have dinner with other people, would be wonderful, wouldn't it? Regardless of whether you're going to meet someone, you might not, but you're going to have a lovely evening.
Exactly. And a lot of people I have talked to, and this is all coming out of, I've sent out a lot of surveys over the pandemic just to get an idea, because on the forefront you wouldn't realize there's a lot of people maybe in their 50s, 60s and 70s that attend my groups that you wouldn't think, they think they're just there for companionship. But 99% of people that attend my groups are looking for their soulmate to continue the good years of their life with, but they really don't know how to go about it.
They don't know how to. For you, actually, it's a question that I've questioned to myself. The Disney effect. There's a lot of like I said, I had it myself, waiting for my prince to come, waiting for that Disney moment, that Disney. Is it true? Is there such thing as your prince will turn up? And it's a hard one, isn't
it? Yeah. I don't know the Disney effect from when we were young. We thought, I think what we are looking for now is something different. We're and also our lives in our 40s, 50s and 60s are a very different stage. And a lot of people I'm talking to are semi-retired, moving into retirement, so it's that companionship. We don't have that big life journey where you have to buy your first house, have your children go through all that. It's time to wind down, relax and enjoy. So it's having things in common, it's having maybe 5 things in common and then bringing so many things each to the table. And yes, I've seen it, and I've seen where people, they have a lot less requirements and a lot more to give at this stage, and it's just the 2 people now. There's nothing in between, and I do see it happening. And the excitement about this role is that my job will be to make it happen, and that's, to me, that is the best job in the world, really.
Yeah, definitely. You're going to have to buy yourself a few new hats, aren't you?
Well, I hope so. I certainly hope so.
Have there been any sort of little twinklings yet where you sort of thought, yeah, I can see you 2 together?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Most definitely. Most definitely. I've done quite a lot of consultations, and already I'm putting people together. But I need to finish all the paperwork and get everything right for the launch, and then I can start scheduling the dates. But already.
Have you always had this in you? Because I know you're from a big family, aren't you? You love people.
Yes, very social.
Ireland, aren't you?
I am. I'm from Northern Ireland, and I'm one of 7. Yeah. And we all get on massively well, and I'm the only one that's here. But I have, a really good circle of friends, and we like to do nice things, different things. And yes, I have successfully matched people. And over the years, when you just, you've got friends, and then you think of other friends, or you meet someone at work that's single, and you say, actually, I've got someone that you'd be quite good with. But more so since I started the dinner society, it's just something, maybe someone in Romsey I know would suit someone in Chichester, but then they're never going to meet. And it's not that far away in the grand scale of things, but I already can see that they would be a lovely match, because stuff that they talk about when they're on with me, it makes sense. But only one person in the middle could catch all that. And even at the events I ran before the lockdown, I used to call them dinner with a difference. So I used to just sit back, and there was 30 people, 15 male and 15 female.
Where did people come from? Where were they?
They came from local, and they came from so it was in Hamble, in the King and Queen in Hamble, and people came from Bournemouth, Winchester, Southampton, obviously, Alton,
Right.
and Emsworth.
Wow.
For that, because they knew it was a level playing field. Because in this industry, or in any dating industry, any dating events, or singles events that are held, will always be heavily outweighed by ladies.
Yes.
Always. Yeah. And as much as we think that would be a brilliant thing for men, imagine having that as a woman, to have that many men, to choose from. Men don't like that concept at all. They feel threatened by that many women in one place.
I could tell you a funny story, actually. It's sort of not. When I was young and I was at school, there were more girls than there were boys in my class. In the whole school, actually, there were more girls. And I remember one little boy, at lunchtime, we used to say, let's play kiss chase. And this poor little boy,
oh my gosh,
he used to cry and say, no, I don't want to play kiss chase.
No, the men don't want to play kiss chase either. I don't think that would be politically correct anymore, Jill, in the playground, would it?
No, but you are right. There are, a lot. Well, men are harder to get to, aren't they? My brother would rather stay at home, and he sort of feels that things are going to come to him.
Yeah, they're very apprehensive. They haven't got the I say this about the majority of ladies, but don't speak for them all, because a lot are very nervous as well. But they are like, right, I'm ready to get back out there now. I'm ready to go. And they hunt in packs. They're like, come on, pick up all their single friends, grab the handbags, and they head out. And then they arrive in, and I remember I ran a tester event, and literally nearly got lynched by the ladies because there wasn't enough male company. So there was about 27 ladies at this event and 5 men. And that was my light bulb moment, as in this. And no matter what measures I went to get 5 of them, really was hard work to come.
Have you overcome that now? Have you found a way?
Yeah, because I won't run the event until it's even, and that seems to make the men more comfortable. So they're more with an even. So if it's 10 ladies and 10 gents, they're more like, well, that's more less threatening, because there's 9 other in the team, and this is a nice mix. And speaking to them, and I've been doing my consultations this last few weeks, they like that mix, rather than walking into a room with a ratio of what I can't even. It just varies so much to different venues, but it's never male dominated ever. So it does depend. You could get a few more men. You could even get less men than that. It just depends where you're at. But they are more nervous. They are more backward about it. But they want to do it.
I think
But they want to know that it's comfortable.
men are confident and men are out there, but I feel that they are just as nervous and just as we are,
if not more sometimes.
No. So how long has South Coast Dinner Society been running then?
Well, I ran the first tastery events in November 2019, just to get an idea of what I should be doing. So I had a few from Bournemouth to Southampton to Winchester and Chichester, and one in Northern Ireland as well. And that was my learning process. And what did I learn?
And so you've gone from that to realizing that there's also now a market.
Yeah, very much. Yeah.
You know, you've gone from one and it's
evolved. Yeah, and it was during the pandemic that made me that people reaching out to me to do something that was
a light bulb moment.
Yeah, well, it was absolutely and totally a light bulb moment. But something that didn't sit with the dinner society. It was away from it. It didn't. They didn't want it to be part of it.
Yeah.
Even within a different tab within the website, they wanted it to be separate. So that should they hop over, then they do so totally in a different entity and of their own choice, so that they don't feel that they're dating within that arena. And yeah, it just seems more personal.
Anyway, it's been lovely chatting to you.
Thank you.
The websites again are South Coast Dinner Society. Yeah.
Yes.
And
that will be select events from Friday the 11th, I think.
Right.
And
yeah. So if there's to Google you now, it would be South Coast, but then
it will be, yes.
Events. Okay, well, lovely chatting to you, Jacqui. Good luck with everything.
Thank you very much, Jill. It's been a pleasure.
Get those hats cleaned.
Yes. Thank you.
Bye.